Hey now, we are back at Autograph Analysis and at Mike Piazza. But a couple house cleaning before we do that. I was watching a video and at the end they said, "Hey now," and I'm like, they stole that from me, but I stole that from Howard Stern, who stole it from Gary Shandling. So I'm just curious who else is using "Hey now." But hey now, number two is I went to the YouTube. Well, I went to the National. I went to the YouTube get together. And I was very, let's say, touched. I was very pleased. People came up to me and said, thank you. They watched my content. So, for everyone that came up to me and watched this, thank you. This is a labor of love. This is not really a show off thread, although I'm going to show off an autograph in my personal collection now at Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza, interesting. I mean, most people know because he's a modern player, obviously. Mike Piazza was drafted in like the 62nd round of the Major League Baseball in 1988. He was done like the fifth to last pick, only done as a favor to Tommy Lasorda, who was his godfather at the time. And it was just like a whatever pick. You know what I'm saying? No one ever thought he'd become anything. And obviously, he turned into a Hall of Famer. Looking at his career alone, obviously, it screams Hall of Famer. 12-time All Star MVP. Not that means so much. He was part of that crazy LA Dodger class that kept winning Rookie of the Year, 10 Silver Sluggers. I mean, lifetime 308 average, over 425 home runs. So great for especially for a kicker. And again, we've talked about lately how tough it is for kickers to get into the Hall of Fame. Granted, with Joe Mauer, that may change. But I mean, when it comes to Mike Piazza, obviously, a lot of people talk about a little bit of, let's say, the allegations of steroids, which he admitted he used over the counter andro. Let me make clear when it was legal. It wasn't always illegal. It was legal for a time. He's admitted to it. Jeff Bagwell's admitted to it. And Mark McGuire's admitted to it, who's not in the Hall of Fame. But, anyways, I digress a little. So, Mike Piazza is like an enemy of the autograph world. And then the reason why I say that, Mike, if you're watching this, which I don't think you are, but if you are, your autograph is so bad, for lack of a better term. It's really bad. I mean, if you look at Ron's book, the autograph example he uses, even like, well, one of the worst examples, but it's still an example of his autograph. I remember even as a player, he was a horrible, horrible signer. He would not sign autographs at all. Uh, Usually I don't show off my collection before we go to the PSA autograph database. I do want to show off my Piazza autograph, and not because I'm showing it right here. Let me get it right on the seams here. I'm showing it right here, and the reason why I'm showing this is not to look at the autograph as much as this. I remember this was from his very first signing, and when he signed, they put a sticker on this, like right here, and I didn't even ask for it. I don't know if I could get it right, but he did put Mike Piazza's people put a sticker on it right here. Didn't ask for it, and the first thing I did, of course, was try and rip it off. This is before. It may have been. I see. God, I'm fading in and out. This is before, maybe after Bonds and what's his name, Mays had their autographs, but it was still very new in the process. I didn't like it. I wanted it off, and I left a residue, as you can see right now. And players still have their own individual stickers today, still some of them. But yeah, Mike Piazza, first one I ever know that had his own sticker. And he was logging it. They want to know every autograph he signed. It was really weird. He gave up with that, obviously, real quickly. He is now a Fanatics exclusive. And we'll talk more of that in a little bit. But let's take a look at the autograph analysis of Mr. Mike Piazza while my screen's really bad. So hopefully it gets better now. We'll share the screen here. So again, PSA database. These are all really bad. I say really bad. These are all Mike Piazza autographs. Most of them are like typical. I don't like any of them in the sense that not that they're not good, they're all good. I don't like the way he signs. He's M is like very. It starts off right here, really loopy, kind of almost like a J. Do you see that? Like a loop here and a loop here, and then after that, you're gonna get an M usually, and the M should kind of come down not too far, but you'll see later it comes down and back up. I mean, rarely do you get the Mike. You're not going to see that anymore in his autograph. This had to be an earlier autograph of him. The Piazza, the P swings way out. The P should be like not only the highest point, it should be also be the most right point in his autograph. Like it should be higher than the M. The M should be the second highest, the P being the highest. And then after that, you get just like loopy Z's like this. Sometimes you go one Z, sometimes you get two Z's. Like I said, they're really bad. Oh, let me go to the next one. Again, not my favorite autograph. Again, this M right here, like it doesn't even come around. You see, it just goes down, and then the P just goes out. I can't see when this is from. Believe it or not, this is a nicer Mike Piazza autograph. Like you said, the P is the highest point, and the P is the most right point. And then the Z's, I mean, usually these Z's loop. This is an earlier one when the Z's don't loop. Well, this Z does loop around. It looped around so much you can see it came off the ball right here, and then looped again. Doesn't even. It ends right here. I mean, very rarely at all do you see the A. I mean, this again is what you're gonna get a typical Mike Piazza autograph. Like I said, the M is very takes over everything in the P, and that's it. So the M again loops out, kind of like that J we talked about. Again, it kind of just you see it comes right up like this. This M usually does not drop down at all. Goes straight down to the P, and the P is the highest and furthest right point. I've seen the P come off the ball right here. Here you can see right here it goes right into the Z, and the Z comes out. It's not always like that. I've seen the Z go to the Z as well. It's just sloppy. It's really sloppy. If you want to get a Mike Piazza autograph, like he just did Fanatics Fest at like 218, it's one of the rare ones. What I say, it's probably best to pay for him to see it, get it signed yourself, because you don't know what you're going to get from him. Also, early Mike Piazza autograph. Again, you got the full mic right here. You're not going to see very much at all. Again, the P, you can even see the I right here, which is, again, very rare, but the P, the highest, most right point. The M is the second highest. You see this J right here is pretty consistent. That's the one thing I'm looking for. It's this kind of like J right here. And we're going to go pretty in depth with Mike Piazza. Very early autograph. You're not going to see this anymore, so I'm going to skip right through that. Again, this is also a pretty. I don't know when this autograph was signed. I can't see down here. Granted, you could still see what I see is like to say is that J right here, pretty consistent. That first stroke right here. Again, the M can drop down. It could be up here. The M's all over the place. You see how I said the P is a single stroke right here. It comes off to the Z right here. But again, depending on how Mike's feeling that day, that P can go straight into the Z. And there's only one Z here. Sometimes you get two Z's. Like I said, he's all over the place. Again, this is like, again, a typical, the M doesn't loop all the way through, but again, you can sort of see that J that I like to look for right there. You see the M doesn't come nearly as down right now. P is the highest point, the most right point. And then again, it comes off, and then you get two Z's. Again, typical what you wanted to see. One more here. This is from his not so long ago autobiography. And again, you see that M sort of in the J. It's really cramped. Like he squeezes everything in right here. And again, but you still see that J, which you really want to see come out. I mean, that's almost the telltale sign, along with the P that stretches all the way to the right and all the way to the highest point. Again, the M is the second highest point. He only got one Z here. I'm sure this was a free signing, and that's why it's so bad. I want to go to Outer Safe. Outer Safe does a pretty good job, obviously. If it wants to pop up. This is interesting to me, and they call this one out. And the reason why it's interesting to me with this one is apparently this must be a Mr. Man Cave. So it's I'm not analyzing the Jeter right now. I'll make that very clear. I'm just looking at the Mike Piazza. They called this one out. Man, I would think this is good. The J, I mean, the M is, we don't see the J perfectly like you want to see. And the Z's right here, though, are pretty good. The P is the highest point. It doesn't loop out as much. This is like a really tough one here. I don't think Man Cave was forging Mike Piazza alone. I think it's something with the Jeter that perhaps this was auto pen. It does not look like auto pen to me, to be honest. On first sight, it looks good, the Piazza to me. But Outer Safe called it out again. Just another reason why you want to look at possibly getting him in person. Now he's such a challenging autograph, Mike Piazza, believe it or not, to authenticate because they called this out. I thought called this good. Let's look at some other ones they did here. If they want to pop up, like as my computer's slow here in the basement, in my personal man cave. Uh, that's Jim Abbott, obviously. Let's see if this one wants to pop up. So while we're waiting for this one to pop up right here, because there were a couple other interesting ones that they had out. This one come down here to this Mike Piazza. Now this one's out, obviously, and I'll tell you why it's out. Number one is it looks like an A right here. I think maybe it's not Mike Piazza. It was someone else to begin with. But again, they said Mike Piazza up here. You see how the P doesn't extend out over here? The P should be extend out over the remaining part of his autograph. That fact alone, along with the fact that the J doesn't loop, it goes in and then up instead of looping out. Like again, Mike's Piazza should go loop in and loop out, almost like kind of like a two, like a J. Like I said, this doesn't do that. Obviously, this is out as well. Here's another Mike Piazza. Again, this is probably my guess. This is good. This is probably what you're going to get, let's say, at the Hall of Fame. If you win the Hall of Fame on that red carpet, and I did see he signed, again, so one stroke, but you still see that J stretching out right here that we talked about, goes into the M, then the P stretches out. This is like, again, such a quick signature into one single Z, or looks like a circle right here, obviously. So it's a really tough autograph. Now, again, I think I wanted to show this plaque right here. So this is a witnessed autograph. Someone paid money for this, and look how bad this is. Again, I think it's a good autograph. I'm just saying how bad his autograph is. Okay, we still see that J that we talked about. The P goes up and over and all the way to the right, kind of like a Z. Is there any other one I looked at? Again, this one here. Again, this one I don't think is good, and I'll tell you why it's not good. See original listing. Let's see if we can. Yeah, pull it up right here. Let me go down. I want to show you why. Again, ignoring the fact that it sold for $60. See how the P doesn't go all the way to the, if I take my mouse off, but if you see how the P doesn't go all the way to the right and over the entire autograph, I think it's no good. So that's just a little bit with Mike Piazza. Like I said, not a real fan of his autograph at all. Be careful in the sense that, like, it's maybe worth getting in person if you really want a Mike Piazza, because he's kind of tough to authenticate, which is such a lousy autograph. But we're going to move from fairly easy autograph of Mike Piazza, even though his prices are holding steady around 200, because that's what he charges at a show, to a very true rare one, and that is Eddie Plank. So, as always, keep collecting.